Good evening, and thanks for keeping a date with us on the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, a program that informs and educates you on the potentials of Nigeria's agricultural sector and efforts of government and other stakeholders in developing the sector. I'm your host, Gabriel Ojile. The National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket program is set to revolutionize agriculture in Nigeria. But what exactly is this scheme about? How do farmers benefit and what impact is it expected to have on food security, job and wealth creation? These are the questions we shall be answering on tonight's episode of the program. Why don't you sit back as we unfold the program to you after this time out?
Every part of Nigeria has something to offer.
Before we explore our subject matter tonight, let's open our news diary for current happenings in the agricultural sector. In our diary tonight, Agri Minister charges personnel to ensure success of agricultural program. Also, Agri Ministry gets new permanent secretary. Details shortly. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Agro-Pocket, has charged personnel, officers, agro-dealers and farmers to adhere strictly to the laid-down rules and agricultural practices that will ensure the success of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket. The minister gave this charge in Abuja during the stakeholders' review and preparatory meeting for the implementation of the second phase of the 2023-2024 dry season farming. Senator Kyari stated that the ministry is deploying the use of information and communication technologies in input distribution to ensure transparency and accountability. Hence, every actor in the program must be diligent in the implementation of the program.
Personnel and officers that will be deployed to manage and coordinate the supply chain activities should adhere strictly to the laid down rules and guiding principles that you have come up with. The ICT providers are also to deploy the best and reliable system that can capture and trace all transactions under the Agro-Pocket. Being the primary purpose of government, decided to utilize technology in the inputs delivery process to promote transparency, accountability, and easy tracking of the impacts and performance.
Also speaking during the meeting, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, stated that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given the necessary support for the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security through budgetary provisions, and it's incumbent on the ministry to deliver to ensure food security in the country.
I believe Mr. President has given you the mandate, has given us the mandate, has given the minister and has brought two competent people to agriculture.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has been assigned a new permanent secretary following the recent retirement of the former permanent secretary of the ministry. The new permanent secretary of the ministry is Temitope Peter Fashedemi. He assumed office on the 17th of January 2024. Prior to his assignment to the Agri Ministry, Fashedemi worked with the Minister of Power, where he was the permanent secretary. He rose to the position of permanent secretary in 2019 and has so far served in that capacity in the office of the head of civil service of the Federation between December 2019 and October 2020. He was also a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Police Affairs from October 2020 to August 2022, before he was posted to the Ministry of Power in September 2022, where he spent 1 year and 5 months before his present posting to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
With the president, it was Ministry of Agriculture.
Fashedemi, on assumption of office as permanent secretary, disclosed to the directors of the ministry that he runs an open door policy. He also charged the directors to work hard with him to support the ministers to deliver on the mandate Mr. President has given them to ensure food security.
We should work together to deliver and to support the ministers, because at the end of the day, the onus is on them. Mr. President made it clear. If any of you that if you didn't even participate, you will have seen it in the news when he gave his final remarks. Said at the end of the season we will sit down, and If you were a bit off the target, so we discuss and redirect. But if you didn't even meet it at all, you will what? You will leave us. That was the language you used. And we will not want any of our ministers to leave us because we didn't do our bit.
The National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket (NAGSAP) is an agricultural program that is set to make Nigerian farmers boost the production of staple food in Nigeria. What is this program all about? What impact would it make? What is the level of implementation and how would farmers benefit from the scheme? In our next segment, Record of the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, we shall be providing answers to these questions. Keep watching.
The National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket is an agricultural program that is targeted at boosting the production of key staple foods such as rice, maize, cassava, wheat, sorghum, and soya beans. The national coordinator of the scheme during a stakeholders meeting shed more light on the target hectares for each of the crops.
The targeted hectares put into cultivation under the 2023-24 dry season for the various crop value chains are as follows: wheat 123,000, rice 150,000, maize 30,000, cassava 20,000.
National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket is financed through a loan of $134 million secured from the African Development Bank (AFDB). This comes as an effort of the federal government of Nigeria to ensure food security in Nigeria. The program is to support farmers in the production of the aforementioned staple foods in the country in both dry and wet seasons.
As part of the commitment to back the declaration of the emergency of food security, the federal government of Nigeria struck a loan facility of $134 million from the African Development Bank under a policy-based operation in order to increase the production and productivities of the agricultural sector to promote the production of staple food crops such as wheat, rice, maize, sorghum, soya beans, cassava during the dry and wet season farming. The policy-based operation, as you may be aware, is a sector budget support project prepared under the African Emergency Food Production Facility, funded through a loan from the African Development Bank, to be implemented across the 30 states of the Federation and FCT for a period of 2 years from 2023 to 2024 farming seasons.
For farmers to participate and benefit from the scheme, they are expected to register their farms to indicate their location and interest. The first phase of the program kick-started with the flag-off of wheat farming in Jigawa and Borno states. The program is expected to support wheat farming in 15 wheat-producing states. To ensure the success of the program, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has deployed the use of information and communication technologies in registering farmers for the distribution of input and other services. While efforts are underway for the takeoff of the second phase of the program, which should provide support for dry season farming of maize, rice, soya bean, sorghum and cassava, there was a stakeholder meeting in Orozo in the boundary area between Abuja and Nasarawa State.
Serve our fatherland.
The stakeholders review and preparatory meeting was convened to evaluate the implementation of the wheat program and to chart a course forward for a robust implementation of the 2023 and 2024 dry season farming support for rice, maize, cassava, wheat, sorghum and soya beans to ensure a resilient food system in Nigeria.
And affordability to all.
Speaking during the stakeholders review meeting, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, stated that the program has recorded some level of success.
The project, aside supporting farmers with critical farm inputs for the production of priority crops, will also provide institutional support for better performance and sustainability, particularly in the areas of wheat seeds, local production. Meanwhile, during the implementation of the wheat production program, there were observed lapses in the implementation process, hence the need for a collective, comprehensive evaluation of all the efforts put in place and provide qualitative remedial measures to forestall their occurrence.
Aside the provision of food for the nation, the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket is expected to boost the nation's economy. For the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the scheme will reduce inflation and stabilize the economy.
I'm sure you have the determination, you have the skill, you have the knowledge, as well as the commitment to do so. And there's a prediction that the rate of inflation, which is currently at a too high 28%, that with success in what you are doing, that rate will come tumbling down in the nearest future.
In reviewing the implementation of the first phase of the program, which is wheat farming, the National Coordinator, Buba Ishaku, gave a highlight of achievements made so far on the program.
At the end of the implementation period of the input distribution exercise on 15 December, though extended to 21st in some states, that is Borno and Jigawa again, a total of 118,605 hectares was redeemed out of the target of 123 hectares targeted, representing 96.4% achievement. That was as at 21st December. It is our expectation that at the end of the implementation period of the wheat program, an estimated 472,000 metric tons of wheat product at an average yield of 4 tons per hectare will be realized.
However, some challenges were recorded, which include poor validation of farmers, round-tripping, network interruption, gradual or late release of SMS, late commencement of the program, inability to serve all the farmers, among others.
Some helpline staff have limited or no knowledge of product quality standards, physical quality characteristics, that the cost of input package were adjudged to be high and unaffordable to some farmers, while others complain of lack of water pumps, tube wells, boreholes to go along with the input package. There were complaints on the quality of some products. There were reported cases of product round-tripping by some agro-dealers. Some helplines that were also reported to be involved in some malpractices. Security agents were also reported to be intimidating farmers and agro-dealers, especially during transportation of granular fertilizer to their destination homes or farms or warehouses, particularly in the northeast frontline state of Borno, Yobe, Gombe, and Adamawa.
As part of the recommendation and action to address the challenges witnessed in the implementation of wheat program, the ministry and other stakeholders are working to ensure that the real farmers are the beneficiaries of the support of the federal government on the project.
In order to resolve or address the observed challenges or constraints, and in order to ensure smooth implementation of the program, during implementation, about 9 platforms were established. These are NAC's PBO Technical Committee for overall coordination, wheat producing stage for monitoring and supervision, ICT platform for NAC's daily resolution of field implementation challenges and issues, NAC's agro-dealers to address input deployment and quality, NAC's helpline staff to coordinate redemption activity challenges and providing feedbacks, extension agents in the wheat producing for wheat planting to assess actual planting situation, monitor and supervision to assess general levels of field implementation and compliance with state standards, extension master trainers to train and deploy relevant personnel for extension advisory services.
For the African Development Bank, the program has so far started on a good note, regardless of the challenges. However, the bank also urged the stakeholders to intensify efforts to finish on a good slate so as to bring the desired results for food security.
We want to commend you what you have drawn during the distributions of the input farmers. We observed that so many innovations were introduced by the management of the ministry, as the technical team led by Malam Buba. I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the African Development Bank to congratulate you. According to the Holy Bible, even though I'm a Muslim, only those who successfully carried out to the end shall be saved. We need to follow it up to the feet so that we can be convinced, so that we can convince the doubting Thomases that we can do it. This can be achieved through a well-presented outrages of the beneficiary in each state of the Federation, with GP of the location, output expected, outrage cultivated, and we need to know what we are expecting on state basis.
The input dealers also have a role to play in the success of the program. The President, Nigeria Agricultural Input Dealers Association, NIDA, pledged the support of the association in ensuring quality input delivery to ensure that farmers are given the right inputs.
Food security is for all. We have to continue to encourage our members to deliver quality products to farmers so that food security is secured. Our members, we have to look out. We have to look at the product we are supplying to farmers. Where we see issues, where we see anything, we have to say we've seen something. So any low quality product coming to whether recognized producers or distributors will have to be identified.
The Seeds Entrepreneurs and Development Association of Nigeria, SEDAN, also pledged their support during the stakeholders review meeting to ensure the success of the program.
SEDAN, as an association that has new leadership just recently, we are poised to work with NASC to ensure we revolutionize the seed industry.
All Farmers Association of Nigeria and the Maize Farmers Association of Nigeria also called on the government to continue involving farmers and commodity associations in the monitoring of the program and for the authentic list of farmers to ensure that the real farmers are the beneficiaries of the program.
In fact, we have a major role to play under this program because those farmers are the ones to produce the food we want, and they are the ones to be the beneficiaries. First and foremost, we have to provide the authentic list of the farmers, which I appreciate the effort of the director, FDA, and also the minister as well, who demanded the list from us directly. We are sure that this time around, this program will go well and smoothly, and farmers will benefit directly from the program.
Told me and what I have seen, I think we are now walking our talk. Nigeria is going to be food sufficient and we are going to attain food security. I don't want to take more than 2 minutes and I don't want to praise the government too much, and I want you to appreciate the fact that there is hunger in Nigeria and we need to work and be sure that we implement this as well as we can.
You are watching Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, and we are looking at the National Agricultural Growth and Agro-Pocket Program with focus on the recent stakeholder review meeting that was held to evaluate the success and challenges of the first phase of the project. You will agree with me that state governments are critical stakeholders in the implementation of any agricultural program of the federal government. The National Agricultural Growth and Agro-Pocket Program is no different. To ensure its success, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has written letters to some state governments for collaboration and support. Similarly, some state governors have also visited the ministry to express their readiness to support the program. The collaboration between the state governments and the ministry will be our focus in our next segment, Partnership for Development. Keep watching.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has been working with the state governments to ensure the success of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket. This collaboration is seen in the minister's trip to Jigawa State, where the governor of the state donated 70,000 hectares of land for wheat production and also supported farmers with cash to implement the program.
Of the Jigawa State Governor.
The minister also commended the governor for harnessing flood water for agricultural purposes and urged other state governments to follow suit to ensure the success of the program.
Our land is shrinking, and I'm actually happy to see what you have done in Buri, where you have turned from being a flood-prone area to a viable agricultural land. This is what we expect other people to do, to harness and take advantage of the situation that we have today in terms of the flooding and the climatic change, the global climatic change.
The governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, also appreciated the minister for the visit and pledged his support and the readiness of farmers and other stakeholders in the state for the wheat farming in Jigawa State.
You offered us 40,000 hectares. This is a confidence you have reposed on us. And I want to assure you that Jigawa State will not fail you on that regard. Like you said, Honorable Minister, in Jigawa State, we are used to taking challenges. Our farmers are ready, and our people in the Ministry of Agriculture are dedicated.
The collaboration is also seen in the number of governors that trooped into the ministry in recent times to express their readiness to collaborate with the ministry to ensure the success of the program in their state. Some of those governors include those of Katsina, Ekiti, and Kebbi states.
Stability of the country. And with that, I think we are giving a serious attention to agriculture. And I want to assure the honorable ministers that Katsina State is ready to key in all the projects of the federal government to support our farmers. And at our own level, we will do whatever possible as the finances will allow so that we help the farmers.
So my visit here today actually is to explore area of collaboration with the ministry in the following areas, honorable ministers. We want to be part of your Agro-Pocket scheme, the dry and wet season farming. We are prepared for that. And we also want to see if it's possible for you to assist us with mechanization and tractorization.
And I want to assure you that we use a criterion by a cluster system so that our farmers will be able to get and go back to farm and farm. We don't have anything more than to provide food for our people and for the nation.
As part of solidifying partnership between the ministry and the state governments, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security presented to the governors letters outlining the partnership between the ministry and the states in the implementation of dry season farming and other agricultural programs.
With the synergy between the federal government and state governments and other stakeholders in the implementation of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro-Pocket, there would be enough food in the country at affordable price and the economy would be better for it. This is the much we can take on the program tonight. Keep your fingers crossed and expect another interesting package next week. I am Gabriel Ojile. See you then.